Hey, this is David Harris coming to you again from the 2016 CSCCA Conference, Strength Performance Network. We have an opportunity to talk to a dynamic duo, Scott Sinclair and Ed Ellis, now directing the strength and conditioning program at the University of Georgia. Guys, I know you have a lot of history together, and we got an opportunity to talk about it a little bit before we started the conversation here. It's pretty unique, I think. I mean, we come across a lot of coaches that stay close to one another within the industry, but actually to have the opportunity to coach together as many times as you have is somewhat unique. Could you spend a little bit of time just talking to the folks about, how you got together initially and how you kind of forged the relationship you have?
Sorry? Well, I mean, I tell you, back in 1998, I did an internship in college at Wake Forest with Ed, and I'll never forget walking in the room. He always laughs at it, but he's cleaning cardio equipment, and I come in there to ask, hey, I'd be interested in interning, and he just kind of looks up, like, yeah, that's fine, and I was scared to death, I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if I want to do this or not, but I interned with him that summer, and then very fortunate that a spot opened up, and when I graduated in '99 on his staff, and he very lucky that he offered me a job, and heck, I'd been with Ed ever since. We 99 to 2001, we're at Wake. Went to Georgia Tech from '01 to '03. Followed him to UCF '04 to 2012, and then he stayed on. And in 2013, I left, went to Marshall University, and then now we're back together again in 2016 at the University of Georgia. So,
You were at UCF for 9 years, is that right?
12 years. So, yeah, the 3 years after he left. I was there 9 years prior, but I think the biggest thing with Scott is when he came in as that intern that, you see something special in people, someone that you're looking for. He came in, and as soon as he started working, you could tell he was going to be that guy that's going to be that special guy to work with. So, I mean, every place I went, I had an opportunity to take him. I was going to take him because he was a great worker, great guy. Now he's become a great friend, and now we're back together again. So we're really excited about that.
Scott, what was it that gave you the idea to go in and ask for the internship in the first place? Did you know strength and conditioning is what you wanted to do?
I'd always lifted weights, and when I was young, I'll never forget my dad made me lift weights on Christmas Eve one night, so I just liked to do it, and I actually needed class credit. And I thought I wanted to coach, but I didn't think I wanted to do X's and O's and that type of stuff. And so really I was trying it out, and hell, I fell in love with it with Ed letting me do some things and just being involved in athletics and my pay was, and every time I would go up, any opportunity I had to go up and help, I would. He used to do bench press meets, and I would jump over things and do whatever I needed to do to get creatine. At the time, he would pay me with like protein or creatine or something like that.
Here, he's like,
it's like, oh, that's awesome, So I'd call up, hey, is there any chance I can come up and work this weekend? Do you have anything going on? I mean, hey, we have a game going up, I'd come watch the game and go help do whatever I could do. But, that's how you pay me in creatine or protein or a T-shirt. Heck, that was awesome.
That worked back then, right?
Oh, yeah. That was perfect.
That's the kind of passion he showed, though. That's the kind of passion you see in this room a lot. Guys that are really into it, really get after it. That's what he showed. That's, just want to do anything to get anything. That's the way he was, and that's what stood out.
Sounds like down the road, wherever you've gone, you've maintained a pretty close relationship, even when you weren't coaching together. Now that you're back together again, how do you divide up your roles in terms of who does what? You both have a tremendous amount of knowledge, going on your 30th year in the industry yourself, Ed. How have you come together? Is it just kind of fit, or have you defined who does what?
I think it just fits. I think it's from the time we were together, it's always been like we've talked about. I can finish his sentence, he can finish. Almost like we're brothers, to be quite honest with you. Other than what the title may say on the paper, it's always been the same. And I guess the only difference now would be I have to do a lot more meetings than I ever had to do before.
I don't mind that now.
He doesn't have to. But you know what? It's been great to know that if I had to go upstairs and do something, 100% trust, 100% confidence that, everything's going to get done the right way because we think the same. And how we train the athletes is the same, and our philosophy and on training the athletes is the same. So it's even though it may say something different on paper, nothing's really changed as far as our relationship and who does what. It's, hey, we do it together. We're working on our summer program last week, and I had Ed and y'all, hey, look, go over this and look and see what you think. pick and choose what you think we should do or what's your opinion on this and that and the other. So, I think we all talk about in this industry, the more people you can get that are smarter than you or know something more than you do, it all makes your whole program better. I mean, I think with Ed and the knowledge he has, the years experience, it is only going to make me and the University of Georgia better and our football team better. So it's been great so far.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think that's the biggest thing I add now is the knowledge factor. I helped him along when he started, giving him ideas and knowledge of what I knew. Now that he's taken it to a new level, and then he went on his own for a few years, came back, and now he's coming back with new ideas, new things. He's showing me some new things, so now we're putting it all back together again, and I think it's going to be great.
Have you spent a lot of years focusing on football? Have you focused on football for most of your careers, or did you work with other sports earlier on in your career?
Yeah, my early part was all other sports with football. I was when I first started at Illinois State way back, 1990. I was one guy doing football, men's and women's basketball, volleyball, baseball. I was doing all of them with one intern doing the other sports. So it evolved a lot now. Now it's just football. But throughout my career, I've been in charge of the whole program. So that's a little different now for me, but it's been good.
Same here. Yeah, I've worked with every sport, but you know what? I think that is what makes a well-rounded strength coach. The opportunity to work with the different sports and learn about them and learn what a golfer may need as opposed to a football player. When you're just you just work with only one sport, maybe you kind of get a little handcuffed in what you do. So I think the opportunity to get to work with every single sport, especially when you're young in this business, is definitely a benefit.
Scott, you had a lot of success while you were at Marshall. I know three bowls in 3 seasons while you were there. And when you think about your strength program, what in terms of creating that value that you were able to create, what were some of the specific things that you did that you'd attribute to helping the program improve?
Well, I tell you this, I've learned this from him, but never take credit for anything. So I didn't make us win 10 games. It wasn't me doing that by any means. But I think one thing that I looked to help when I did get to Marshall was changing the culture of how the kids act and what the kids perceive, and then it's not okay to lose a game. It's not okay to finish a rep. It's not okay to go, 50% in a workout. You got to give everything you got, and I think a good coach looks for what your team may need, what that program needs, and I think at the time, I think they needed that. I think they needed a sense of family and learning to work together. I think we had a good group of guys, but it wasn't a total team. I think we kind of had, maybe it was a little bit split. So for me, it was trying to come up with a lot of exercises, a lot of different things we could do within the workout to provide that team concept, to make them work together to complete a task. So obviously getting stronger and faster was more important, or it was important, but I think more importantly was developing that culture of, you got to go out every day and grind. There's no easy way to make that happen, and it's not okay to give half effort. You got to go out and give it every day. So that was one of the things I think.
So if you think about that, and then Ed, with your 3 decades now of experience, now you're going to be at Georgia, opportunity to new program again. What are some of the things that you take with you in terms of when you're imagining creating a program from the foundation up? What are the first things that you do to create that strong foundation?
Like you hit on, I think the culture, changing the culture of how they work, how hard they work, pushing and grinding every day, because it is a grind. You come in there, you have to work. Some guys aren't used to working. I'm not going to say what schools do and what schools don't, but there's certain schools that don't work hard, certain schools that do work hard. We're going to be one of those schools that go in there and hit it hard every day, push hard every day. There's a lot of other things to it. That's one of the things that we're doing. He'll hit on some others.
I think the biggest thing I've always took from him is hard work. Like, you can have this big scientific program and you can use all the technology and all these new things that the conference here are great, but if you don't go in and grind, in my opinion, and what I've learned from him, if you don't go in and go after it and work hard, then you're never going to reach your potential. So I think our biggest thing with the guys at Georgia right now are teaching them to work hard and teaching them to grind. And Coach Smart talks a lot about being competitive in everything we do. And really, competing and whatever it is, whether it's sprinting, lifting weights, agility training, some kind of mind puzzle, I don't care. You got to compete and you got to want to win and you got to do everything you can in your power to give everything you got. So we got great kids at Georgia. I mean, I do want to say that. We're unbelievable kids. They're working their butts off. They bought into what Coach Ellis and I have asked them to do, and the culture and the program that we're trying to create. They bought into that. So now it's just a matter of, I think it's a matter of time and letting us continue to work on that. So.
You mentioned technology and the use of data. Is that something that you guys actually are building into your program in terms of actually using the data to help the athletes to improve individually or collectively?
Actually,
Yeah.
Said something. Me being real old school, I mean, that's stuff we never even really did back in the day. That was something, just don't worry about it. But today, I mean, it's just part of it. Not everyone uses it, but there's a definite value to it. So, and Scott can hit on some of those points because that's something that's going to be valuable moving into the future.
I think that's definitely an area right now with the GPS monitoring systems. You know, we incorporated that into our off season, late in our off season, and then throughout spring ball. And I think it's given us a different perspective of, you know, what the players are going through, yardage and miles per hour and top end speeds and player loads and different things like that. And I didn't. This is my 17th year in the business as well, so I'm kind of a little bit older too, and a lot of this is new too. But I think if we can take it and use it, and it benefits our athletes, and we may not be able to use 10 different things, but if we can use one or two that we believe we can use and it will benefit our kids, then I think it's worth looking into. I think sometimes you get so many different things that, you know, you don't use any of them. And I think with the catapult stuff, we wanted to be able to use it, but actually, you know, put it into use, not just have it on paper, but all right, well, this is what it means. This is how we can change our program to help our athletes and to help the kids perform at the top level. So I think that's one. I think the nutrition aspect and college is huge right now. And, you know, we're standing behind Muscle Milk, and the things that they can do for the college athletes is huge. And we have a great nutritionist on staff at Georgia that does a lot of that for us. I know when Ed and I were coming up, and I would have been with Ed the whole time, we were the nutritionists. I remember back in the day
sandwiches, mixing drinks, all that stuff, everything.
Peanut butter and jelly, shakes, we did it all. I'll never forget when I first started, you know, that was when you could give creatine out. We had a creatine Christmas tree, you know, that we have a little, instead of lights on a Christmas tree, it had creatine.
That's when you can actually do that. You can't do it anymore, but that's it.
But, you know, having her there to kind of take that role over and kind of take it off our plate, I think has been big. But that's, again, another thing that's coming out. Recovery is being huge right now with the ice tubs and the massages and all those types of things. And there's a lot of new things here that we're looking into. And if we can use one or two of those things, again, that will benefit our players and our team and the program, then I think we're all for it. And I know Coach Smart is all for that as well.
Guys, thanks a lot for your time. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure meeting you guys in person. This is David Harris again from Strength Performance Network, here with Scott Sinclair and Ed Ellis, who are driving the strength program at University of Georgia. So thanks, guys. Appreciate it.